What's up, geeks? In this episode, we have a very special guest joining us, one of our very close friends, and I hope you enjoy it.
Very, very special indeed. Raj, welcome, and you're looking very shiny, man, after those 2 Olympic medals now that you have with you. How's it going?
It's good. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here.
You're looking brighter than Leander now, finally, with one more medal than him.
Oof, that's tough to do, but I'm happy to be that.
It's a heck of a compliment.
Yeah. You know,
One more medal than all of Indian tennis, Raj.
yeah.
So, Raj, we will start with a slightly, a topic that we've been discussing a little bit in the studio and something that me and Soma are kind of debating. And
we see it differently. Let's just say we see it differently.
We debate this a lot,
Okay.
and I'm sure you're in the US, and it's a tennis versus pickleball debate.
Tennis versus pickleball versus paddle.
We'll put it all out there
Okay.
for you, Raj. We'll put it all out there for you. If you can just give us your initial thoughts on the statement of the USTA and of the USTA president saying that pickleball is affecting tennis today in not that many words, but he's basically said that it's definitely harming the infra of tennis today. And where do we see this in 10 years from now?
I mean, I think it definitely is affecting the tennis because I feel like a lot of the pickleball players use tennis courts. So eventually you're going to have that be, an issue, right? If there's more than one people want to use the same court for 2 different games, it's a little tricky. So I think that's not far from the truth. I feel like pickleball is a very good recreational sport. It's not so tough to play. It's not so tough to get pretty decent at. And I think tennis is just the opposite. It takes years and years and years to be even decent, let alone good. So I think it's a very tough sport for just your average person to pick up and play. So I see the charm in it. I see the enjoyment factor. And I think it's wonderful because it actually gets people to exercise and to play and to move. But I think there's got to be some kind of compromise or something, that doesn't get in the way of, pickleball players and tennis players trying to use just the same locations for their respective sports. Padel, I'm less familiar with. It's not so big in the US for sure. Obviously I've seen it, but I think that's a little bit of a different deal because it's not played on the same court. You have to have your own special courts. I think it's a great sport. It seems like it'll be a hit, but it doesn't kind of give the same challenges, I guess.
And have you played any?
I've played marginally.
You would be unbelievable at pickle, right?
Marginally, I've played. I actually, if you can believe this, I remember playing pickleball when I was in high school, like as a teenager.
Wow.
It's been around for that long, but obviously only gotten popular just in the last couple of years.
Do you see it, Raj, as really like taking over and really affecting tennis, as in 10 years from now, we will have pickleball Grand Slams and that courts are and less tennis pros?
I don't know. It's a good question, right? I mean, I think that it's definitely a recreational sport. Whether it turns into a professional sport that has the magnitude of, let's say, Grand Slams in tennis, I don't know. That feels like a really long way to go. So I think my honest answer right now is probably not. But you never know. I would have never thought pickleball would be this popular as is. So that's.
And how popular is it, Raj? Just to give an example of your hometown, Indianapolis, where you're from, how popular has it become?
Hugely popular. There's facilities for just pickleball now. Every tennis court has pickleball lines. It's crowded. It's people wanting to play all the time. It's incredibly popular.
I mean, from a business standpoint, Raj, I get it. I mean, considering...
I get it too.
Yeah, I mean, 4 pickleball courts, 16 players versus 4 players on a court, right? So an hour, I mean, I understand. But do you think this could be a little bit of a transition to tennis? For kids?
Yeah, I think it could be. Or I think it could be a little bit of a transition away from tennis, possibly, too. A lot of the people that played tennis maybe when they were 30, 40, maybe if they get a little bit older and they can't quite do it, they transition to pickleball. I've seen it that way as well. So I think it's great in some ways because it keeps people active, it keeps people moving, it keeps people interested in racket sports. But I think, it could be on both sides of tennis, to be honest.
Well, a couple of things, Raj, just to top up that point and say that, we keep talking about how many players make a living from tennis. And the real answer in real terms, there's about 250 pro players make a living from tennis. And pickleball is not far off that number in a 5-year-old sport. And that's what leads me to a problem, right? Because eventually you play a sport that will make you money and that will give you support and for a long period of time.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how far that goes in terms of the professional level, because I feel like one of the things that draws tennis or people to watch tennis is when you watch, for example, tonight I watched Frances Tiafoe and Taylor Fritz play the semifinals of the US Open. You see things that you'll never ever see in any kind of recreational tennis.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so far ahead and so far above that you go and you pay good money to watch that. I'm not sure if that exists enough in pickleball. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I'm not sure if it exists enough to have the legs for to be a professional sport, to be that magnitude.
And that's exactly how I feel, because when I watch 4 of the world-class pickleball players play, and I've had to, because Purav is now a pickleball pro, by the way.
No, I'm not that good yet. I'm not that
sitting
good
next to
yet,
you.
but I'm trying.
I mean, he's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Donald
I bet.
Young.
I know. I played with him before, actually. One of the 2 times I played was with him.
Yeah, and you've seen Donald Young playing. You see whatever Agassi, you see all of these people investing in it. But for me, it's from a viewer perspective. I'm like, there's just 37 dinks in a row. I mean, it's just silly. Like, you're standing over there, you have these great athletes, and the strategy is actually how I play tennis, is just put it down, put it down, put it low, don't let the other guy do something. And they've just made the game so boring. I just don't see how it can be spectator friendly.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I feel like the better you are at pickleball, at least that's the feeling I get. The better you are, the more you hit those sort of dink shots. Like, that's the point of the game. So I just don't know. That's my feeling, where it seems to have a ceiling, but I don't think it has a ceiling recreationally. I think it's incredible for the average person.
Okay, Rajeev, just a quick prediction on this 10 years from now. Where do we see, and do we see pickleball as a real sport, or are we going to keep it in your mind as a recreational sport? We are talking about 2034, so this interview will only hold value in 10 years, I guess.
I think
useless now.
Honestly, I think if I had to guess absolutely right now, I would say it would be more of a recreational sport. However, I will say a big part of that is if it becomes, in America at least, I will say if it becomes like a high school or a collegiate level sport, if it becomes that, then all of a sudden you're going to have kids like training for it and being on a team and being, someday we'll tell you exactly how college tennis is. If that is sort of a transition phase to a professional level, I think it may have some possibility, at least in this country, in the US. If it doesn't kind of go into the younger kids in high schools and colleges, then I think it would probably, most likely be a recreation sport.
I mean, US are the kings of marketing. The way that you market things and the way that you guys do it, I mean, it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, someday.
No chance. It's just not fun to watch. I can't make the difference out between watching world-class top 10 pickleball players and top 1,000 pickleball players. It's the same.
That's right. And you would have no problem doing that in tennis. In 5 seconds, you'd figure that out. So.
All right, there we have it. Pickleball versus paddle versus tennis. Is pickleball? I mean, everybody has their opinions.
Yeah.
It's such a controversial subject, and it's something that's happening. Tennis courts are just being taken over, and when we had Raj's take as well.